You manifested money last week, finally. After months of doing everything right. Visualization, affirmations, high frequency, the money came. $1,000, $2,000, $5,000. The amount doesn't matter. It was there, real, in your account, and you felt that relief. It worked. 2 days later, the money vanished. An emergency came out of nowhere. Unexpected bill, someone needing help. Car broke down, appliance died, and there you were thinking, what did I do wrong? Nothing. You did nothing wrong. It wasn't lack of faith, it wasn't the universe testing you. And it definitely wasn't bad luck. It was something nobody taught you. Something operating 24 hours a day without you noticing. You are quantumly entangled with someone's scarcity. And this invisible connection is draining your abundance faster than you can manifest it. This phenomenon has a scientific name, quantum entanglement. And it's not a spiritual metaphor. It's real physics. Measurable. Proven. In this video, you'll understand exactly how it works. You'll discover the signs that you're entangled. You'll learn to identify who you're connected to. And you'll know how to cut these cords without cutting people out of your life. Because you can love someone and be energetically free at the same time. But before anything else, you need to understand where this comes from and why it happens precisely when you start to prosper. In the previous video, you discovered that your money frequency is frozen at age 7. Maybe you've already started to unfreeze it, recognized the childhood programming, started transmitting adult frequency, felt real change. But there's a second deadly problem. Even after unfreezing, the frequency freezes again. 2 weeks later, everything goes back to zero. Why? Because there's something operating in your field that you don't control alone. Someone is connected to you. And while that connection is active, you don't move forward. Let me explain the mechanism. In 1935, 3 physicists, Einstein, Podolsky, and Rosen, published an experiment that changed everything. They proved that 2 particles that interact once become connected forever. Distance doesn't matter. If you change the state of one particle here on Earth, the other particle, even if it's on Mars, changes instantly. No delay, no signal transmission. It's like they're quantum twins. Einstein called this spooky action at a distance. He hated the idea. But experiments proved it works. Now, what does this have to do with you and money? Everything. Because you're not just made of solid atoms. You're a walking electromagnetic field. Your heart generates a field that extends up to 10 feet around your body. Studies from the HeartMath Institute measured this. And when 2 electromagnetic fields interact repeatedly, you and your mother, you and your partner, you and your best friend, they become entangled. It's not emotional connection. It's not psychological bond. It's measurable, energetic connection. Think of it this way. It's like 2 phones connected via Bluetooth. If one rings, the other responds automatically. If one is on silent mode, the other feels it. You don't need to press any buttons. The connection is already active. Entanglement is energetic Bluetooth. You're paired with certain people, and while the Bluetooth is on, you transmit data to each other 24 hours a day. Why does this matter for money? Because frequency doesn't exist in a vacuum. If you're entangled with someone transmitting scarcity, you inherit part of that frequency. Not because you're weak, not because you don't have enough faith, but because you two are operating as a shared energetic system. Imagine you finally unfroze your frequency. Now you're transmitting abundance as an adult. But your mother, who you talk to every day, is still transmitting scarcity from her 60 years of programming. You two have been entangled since the womb. Electromagnetic fields connected for decades, and her field pulls yours back, not out of malice. She doesn't even know she's doing it. But entanglement doesn't need intention. It simply is. Here's what nobody else tells you. Proximity creates entanglement, physical plus emotional. The closer physically, same house, same room, same bed, the stronger the quantum cord. The more intense emotionally, love, fear, anger, dependence, the thicker the cord. Family of origin, steel cord. You were entangled with them before you had filters. Romantic partner? Titanium cord. Physical plus emotional intimacy creates the deepest entanglement possible. Friends of decades? Solid cords. Years of repeated exposure reinforce the connection. And there's more. Mirror neurons. Your brain has cells that copy the emotional state of whoever is near. If someone panics, your mirror neurons activate panic in you. If someone relaxes, you relax. It's not conscious empathy. It's automatic biology. Mirror neurons plus quantum entanglement is the perfect combination to inherit someone else's frequency without noticing. That's why your manifestation techniques fail. You do abundance affirmations in the morning, 30 minutes of elevated frequency. Then you have lunch with your mother who complains about bills. 2 hours of low frequency. Who wins? The 2 hours. Always. Because entanglement operates 24 hours a day in the subconscious. Affirmation operates minutes a day in the conscious. There's no competition. You're not crazy. You're not doing it wrong. You're quantumly connected to someone whose scarcity frequency is pulling yours back. And while that cord is active, it doesn't matter how many techniques you use. Entanglement wins. Always. Now that you understand what entanglement is, the question is, how do you know if you're entangled with someone's scarcity? Because it's not obvious. You don't see quantum cords connecting you to other people, but there are signs. And when you recognize these signs, everything makes sense. I'm going to show you 6 clear patterns that you're entangled with someone's scarcity frequency. And I bet at least 3 will make you think, wait, this happens to me. The first pattern that appears is you progressing financially while someone close regresses, and you feel paralyzing guilt. For example, you get a promotion at work, salary increase. You should be happy, right? But instead of celebrating, you feel a strange weight in your chest. And 3 days later, your mother calls saying she doesn't have money to pay the electric bill, or your partner loses their job, or your brother asks you for money again. It's not coincidence, it's entanglement. When you rise, the system tries to balance by pulling someone down, and you, unconsciously, feel you can't have more than them. Another thing that happens is money arriving and emergencies appearing. You save $5,000. Finally, 2 days later, the car breaks down. Exactly $5,000 for the repair. Or someone in the family has a medical emergency. Or a debt appears that you didn't even know existed, and the money disappears. Every time. You start thinking you're cursed, but it's not a curse. It's entanglement. Someone close has a money doesn't stay frequency, and you're paired with that frequency. So the quantum field creates situations where money leaves your hand, because the entangled system doesn't allow accumulation. There's another physical sign that's impossible to ignore. You feel weight or drain around certain people. There are people who when you meet them you leave energized, and there are people who when you meet them you leave exhausted. Even if the conversation was good, even if you laughed together, you get home and feel like someone drained your battery. This isn't sensitivity, it's entanglement. Her field was in low frequency, yours was in high frequency, and the entanglement balanced the two. She went up a little, you went down a lot, and you didn't even notice. Another common pattern is your financial reality resetting after visiting family or partner. You spend a week alone, do your manifestation practices, feel like you're aligned, elevated frequency. You visit family over the weekend, 2 hours of lunch with complaints about money, economy, crisis, inflation. You go back home and realize your frequency completely reset, as if the 7 days of inner work had been erased, because they were. Entanglement overwrites intention. Time exposed to low frequency beats time of conscious practice, always. There's a behavior that reveals entanglement clearly. You hide financial success. Bought something for yourself? Don't mention it. Received extra money? Don't talk about it. Invested and profited? Secret. Why? Because you know, even without naming it, that if you talk, something will happen. Envy. Passive-aggressive comment. Request for a loan. Or worse, You feel like you'll zero out your luck if you speak. This fear isn't paranoia. It's your body recognizing entanglement. You know that sharing success with certain people drains your frequency, so you hide and live prosperity in secret. And perhaps the most subtle of all is this. You feel you can't have more than them. You want to earn $10,000 a month, but your father earns $3,000. Your mother earns $2,000. And there's an internal voice saying, "Who do you think you are to earn more than them?" It's not modesty. It's not humility. It's an invisible ceiling created by entanglement. You have an unconscious energetic limit, and that limit is the frequency of the person you're most entangled with. Usually family of origin. You can try to pass that limit, but the field pulls back. Every time. Recognized at least one of these patterns? You probably recognized 3 or 4. And maybe now you're thinking of someone specific. Mother or father. Maybe your partner. Or that friend of decades. That person you love, but every time you talk about money, you feel something heavy in the air. It's not their fault. They're not doing this on purpose. But the entanglement exists. And while it exists, your individual frequency doesn't matter, because you two are operating as a shared system. And the system always seeks balance. If she's in scarcity, you go down to balance. If you rise to abundance, something pulls you back. That's the mechanism. And until you cut the cord, it will keep operating. Now you know how to identify the signs. In the next point, I'll explain why entanglement is stronger than your intention, and why all your manifestation techniques lose to a 2-hour conversation with someone entangled. Have you ever done an abundance ritual in the morning and felt aligned? Elevated frequency, gratitude in your chest, certainty that money is coming. And 3 hours later, everything crumbles. You don't understand. You did everything right. Visualized, felt as if you already had it, anchored it in your body, but the frequency doesn't hold, and you go back to the same place. Scarcity, worry, fear of not having enough. The reason is simple and devastating. Entanglement beats intention, every time. Let me explain the mechanism. Your conscious intention operates how much time per day? 15 minutes of affirmation, 30 minutes of visualization. Let's be generous and say 1 hour. 60 minutes of conscious elevated frequency. Now, how much time do you spend entangled with someone of low frequency? If you live together, it's hours sleeping in the same electromagnetic field, plus the hours of coexisting. If you don't live together, there are the calls, the conversations, the time you think about her. 60 minutes of conscious practice against hours of subconscious entanglement. Who wins? The subconscious. Always. Because dominant frequency isn't defined by intensity. It's defined by duration. What you transmit for the longest time is what the quantum field receives as real instruction. You can shout, "I am abundant," for an hour. But if you whisper, "It won't work," for 7 hours, the field hears the whisper. And there's more. Entanglement operates 24 hours a day, even when you sleep, even when you're not thinking. The electromagnetic fields remain connected, transmitting data, balancing frequencies. Your heart emits electromagnetic waves all the time. Her heart emits electromagnetic waves all the time. And when 2 hearts are entangled, they synchronize. HeartMath proved this. Put 2 people 1.5 feet apart, monitor the heartbeats. In a few minutes, the rhythms start to align, not because they decided to, but because the fields interact automatically. Now imagine decades of interaction, mother and child, partners who've slept together for years, friends who've seen each other every week for 20 years. These fields are so entangled they function as a single system, and the system always seeks balance. If one field is in low frequency due to trauma, programming, or fear, the other field goes down to balance. Not by choice, by physics. That's why your techniques fail. Not because you're doing it wrong, but because you're trying to swim forward while someone holds your leg underwater. You can be the strongest swimmer in the world. Doesn't matter. If someone's pulling you, you don't advance. The longer entangled, the stronger the cord. Family entanglement has decades of thickness. Started in the womb, reinforced in childhood, solidified in adulthood. That's why cutting cord with family is harder than with a recent friend. Romantic entanglement is also deep. Physical and emotional intimacy creates thick cords. That's why relationships where one is in scarcity and the other in abundance rarely work. The scarcity field pulls the abundance field down, and nobody can stand being pulled eternally. Here's the data nobody gives you. Mirror neurons. Your brain has specialized cells to copy the emotional state of whoever is nearby. If she goes into financial panic, your mirror neurons activate panic in you. You don't decide to feel it. Your brain copies automatically. Now combine mirror neurons with quantum entanglement. You don't just copy her emotional state. You become connected energetically 24 hours a day. It's the perfect combination to inherit someone else's frequency without noticing. And that's why you come back from family lunch with reset frequency. It wasn't lack of faith. It wasn't because you thought negative. It was because you spent 2 hours exposed to collective scarcity frequency. Father complaining about money, mother worried about bills, brother saying the economy is bad. 3 electromagnetic fields transmitting scarcity. And you there in the middle, entangled with all 3. Your field alone doesn't stand a chance. Doesn't matter how many affirmations you did in the morning. 3 scarcity fields beat 1 abundance field, always. And you leave there thinking you lost alignment, but you didn't lose it. It was ripped away by entanglement. Now you understand why techniques fail. Not because they're bad, but because you're fighting quantum physics. And physics doesn't negotiate. While the cord is active, you don't move forward. Simple as that. In the next point, I'll teach you to identify exactly who you're entangled with, because you need to know where the cords are before cutting them. Now you know you're entangled, but with whom? Because it's no use knowing there's a cord if you don't know where it's connected. Some cords are obvious, others are invisible, and the invisible ones are the most dangerous. Because they drain you without you noticing. I'm going to ask you 5 direct questions, and then teach you a body test. At the end, you'll know exactly who's pulling your frequency down. The first thing you need to ask is, who complains about money in your presence regularly? Doesn't need to be every conversation. But there's always a moment where money becomes the topic and becomes complaint. Everything's expensive. I don't know how I'll pay this. The economy is impossible. Rich people suck. This person is transmitting scarcity frequency. And if you hear this every week, every month, every year, you're entangled with them. Doesn't matter if you mentally disagree. Your field absorbs their frequency just from being near. Another important question, who makes you feel guilty for prospering? You receive money and don't celebrate. You buy something for yourself and hide it. You achieve something financial and minimize it. Why? Because there's someone who, consciously or unconsciously, punishes your success. Look of disapproval. Passive-aggressive comment. Must be nice to have money left over, huh? Awkward silence. This person is entangled with you. And their frequency is, you can't have more than me. There's another question that reveals a lot. Who always has a financial emergency that you solve? I'm not talking about helping once. I'm talking about a pattern. Every time you save money, they need it. Every time you're about to take a financial step, they pull you back. Can you lend me some? Just this once. I'll pay you back next week. And never pays. Or pays and asks again next month. This cycle isn't bad luck. It's entanglement. Her scarcity field is draining your abundance field, literally. And while you keep solving it, the cord thickens. Pay attention also to who leaves you energetically drained. After being with whom do you feel exhausted? You might love this person. Might enjoy the company. But when you leave them, you feel like someone turned off your battery. Exhaustion, weight in your chest, desire to sleep, irritation for no reason. This is the physical sign of entanglement. Your field was high, theirs was low, and the entanglement balanced. They went up a little, you went down a lot. and you didn't even notice it happening. And there's one last revealing question. From whom do you hide financial success? Think fast. You just received $10,000 unexpectedly. Who are you not going to tell? That person. That's who you're entangled with. Because your body already knows that if you talk, something will happen. Energy will drain. Envy will arise. Or worse, you'll feel like you zeroed out your luck. Hiding prosperity is a defense mechanism against entanglement. You're protecting your frequency instinctively. Answered at least 3 of these questions thinking of the same person? Then you already know who it is, but if you still have doubts, there's a body test that doesn't fail. I'll teach you now. Close your eyes for a second. Take a deep breath. Now think of someone close. Hold that person in your mind. Now imagine you have $100,000 in your account. Financial freedom. Total security. Pay attention to your body. What happens? Do you relax or contract? If you relax, there's no strong entanglement. If you contract, you're entangled with that person's scarcity. Your body doesn't lie. It knows that if you prosper, something will happen. Guilt, demands, drain, and it contracts to protect you. This contraction is the sign. Now do the test with each close person, one at a time. Think of them. Imagine $100,000. Feel your body. Relax or contract. At the end, you'll have a mental list. The people you're entangled with, and it's probably not just one, could be 3, could be 5. Family of origin, partner, best friend of 20 years, co-worker who complains every day. Each cord has different thickness, but all pull, and while they're active, your frequency doesn't rise. Now that you know who you're entangled with, the question is, what to do? And here comes the part nobody wants to hear, but needs to. You're going to need to cut the cords. Not the people, the cords. And there's a difference. In the comments, I want you to write just this. I'm entangled with and complete with the relationship, not the name. It can be my mother, my partner, my best friend. You don't need to expose anyone, but you need to acknowledge, because acknowledgement is the first step to cutting. Write it there now. Let's see how many of us carry these cords without knowing. Now comes the part everyone's afraid to hear. Cutting cords. And immediately you think, am I going to have to cut this person out of my life? No. Listen carefully. Cutting cord is not cutting person. You can love someone without being energetically entangled with them. You can have a healthy relationship without transmitting data 24 hours a day. It's like disconnecting Bluetooth. You can still call the person, talk, be present, but you're no longer automatically transmitting your frequency to them. And they're no longer transmitting theirs to you. That's the difference. Human relationship continues. Energetic connection ends. And this isn't selfishness. It's not coldness. It's not abandonment. It's energetic protection. It's survival. Because if you don't protect your field, nobody will protect it for you. So how do you cut? I'm not going to give you a detailed step-by-step technique now, because the focus of this video is for you to understand the mechanism. But I'll give you the principles, and just by understanding the principles, half the work is already done. First principle, recognize the entanglement. You already did this in the previous topic. You know who you're entangled with. Recognition is 50% of the cut. Because entanglement only works in the unconscious. The moment you bring it to consciousness, it loses power. It's like turning on a light in a dark room. The shadows don't disappear immediately, but they stop scaring you. Second principle, conscious decision to cut. Entanglement doesn't dissolve on its own. You need to decide to cut it. Recognition isn't enough. You need to say, out loud or mentally, I choose to cut this cord. Seems simple, but it's powerful, because conscious decision is quantum command. Third principle, visualization plus declaration plus release. You'll need to visualize the cord connecting you to the person. Doesn't need to see it perfectly. Just feel that something exists connecting you. Then you declare, I cut this cord with love. I free you. I free myself. And breathe deeply while visualizing the cord dissolving. You'll feel lightness in your body when it happens. Chest expands, shoulders relax. It's a physical sign that the cut has begun. Fourth principle, keep cords cut. This is the hardest, because cords reconnect. Every time you interact with the person, there's a risk of re-entanglement, especially if the interaction is emotional. Fight, crying, physical intimacy. All this creates new entanglement, so you need to be conscious. Each time you meet the person, check, am I entangling again? And if you feel yes, cut again. In the beginning, you'll need to cut every week, then every month. Eventually, the field learns and stops connecting automatically. Now the question everyone asks, if I cut the cord with my mother, will I stop loving her? No. Love is not entanglement. You can love deeply and be energetically free. Actually, it's the healthiest love. Because there's no energetic dependence, no drain, no guilt. You love because you choose to, not because you're trapped. And there's another thing. When you cut the cord, you're not cutting the person out of your life. You're liberating them, because entanglement is a prison on both sides. While you're entangled with her scarcity, she's entangled with your conflicting frequency. You trying to rise, she's stuck in low frequency, both locked. When you cut, you liberate both. She can continue in her frequency without pulling you. You can rise in yours without guilt. Speaking of keeping the cut active, if you want structure to not re-entangle, there's a manifestation kit with daily protocols and guided meditations that keep your frequency stable even around people in scarcity. Link in the first pinned comment. But if you prefer to create your own system, that works too. The important thing is consistency. Because cutting cord once isn't enough. The field needs to learn, and that requires discipline. Now, last important thing, cutting cord doesn't mean never seeing the person again. You can have lunch with your mother every Sunday. You can sleep next to your partner every night, but you do it consciously. Knowing that after the interaction, you'll need to check your field. And if you feel you re-entangled, cut again. With practice, this becomes automatic. Your field learns to protect itself. And you can be present with people you love without absorbing their frequency. It's energetic freedom. And it's your right. You weren't born to carry everyone's emotional, financial weight around you. You were born to prosper. And sometimes, prospering means letting go of who can't come along. Energetically, not physically. Now I'll give you the next step, because cutting cords is only half the solution. It's not that you didn't know how to manifest. It's not that your techniques were weak. You were entangled. And entanglement beats intention. Every time. But now you have clarity. You know who you're connected to. You know you can cut cords without cutting people. And you know that energetic protection isn't selfishness. It's survival. If this video helped you understand why money kept disappearing, leave your like. It helps more people find this information. And subscribe to the channel, because this series isn't over yet. Actually, there's a third deadly problem happening right now, and you don't even know it. You cut the cords. Your frequency is unfrozen. You should be free, right? But there's something you do every day that's collapsing scarcity without you noticing. Every time you open your bank account and look at the balance, you're doing the worst thing possible quantumly. That second of observation is destroying your manifestation. And 90% of people do this. Multiple times a day. Checking. Verifying. Doubting. And each look collapses more scarcity. In the next video, I reveal the mistake everyone makes when opening their bank account, and how to observe quantumly to manifest, not destroy. Your bank account is a quantum mirror, and you need to learn to look at it the right way. See you there.